We're here to introduce a book that we've just published with De Gruyter called Responsibility for Refugee and Migrant Integration. One of the things that we have been very interested in over the past few years has been the global challenge of migration, what it means in the past, what it means now, and where we're going as societies. Migration is never going to stop. It's something that's been happening forever with people, and it's going to keep going. So either we figure out a little bit more about it now, or we just keep it as one of these wicked problems that we never ever quite sink our teeth into. It affects every country, it affects every race, every religion, every society. I think we would be remiss and irresponsible if we didn't engage with projects like this or a topic like this.
So we thought that it is also our responsibility to do something with this big topic, and our responsibility and also opportunity from the Global Young Academy perspective to bring together all these different viewpoints. And we have this wish that we live together peacefully, and this is important to reflect on. Not only from a paradigm that we already know, like something that the newspaper that we already read every day, that's our lens that we look through to the world, but this book brings different perspectives and sometimes opposing views, and I think that's really important.
So one of the things we are discussing in the book is the question of responsibility. And the question there is, who should actually be doing what in order to realize an integrated society? While generally integrating a society seems to be a task where also institutions, policies, politicians and so on have to play an important role, integration ultimately depends on the countless everyday interactions of normal, ordinary citizens to a high degree, and that is why the focus on individual responsibility is so important to us, even though as an individual you might often feel powerless and insufficient in realizing a large-scale goal like an integrated society.
I think one of the main topics of the book is, like Jan said, who has responsibility for what? And when the state or institutions aren't able to fill a hole, well, what can individual people do? And I think there's just the way the news and everything is going at the moment, I think people feel powerless. And in fact, when we started working together, we realized that individual people can actually accomplish quite a lot, which is encouraging, I think, for us. I think we need things that are encouraging right now. I think that's one of the big messages from the book.
While I think that the book is quite optimistic also in a way and empowering with regard to the agency and the relevance of individual contributions to such social processes, I think it is very much realistic on the other hand as well, insofar as it sees that there are many challenges and barriers to be overcome. And we have articles dealing with the post-colonial influence that still makes things incredibly difficult. Often we discuss prejudices and xenophobia, and we also have an article in the book on cyber hate against academics as a topic which is increasingly important and becoming increasingly prevalent. So the reality is taken into account, and nevertheless we hope to really transport some kind of optimism and empowerment feeling here.
So for me, one of the things that I've learned is I thought I was quite open-minded, and definitely that has been challenged. And there are so many things that we're not aware of, and again, I thought I was aware of how privileged I am, and definitely I am much more privileged than what I even thought. So learning about other perspectives has really changed the way I look at doing research, but also really my daily life.
I think everybody should really reflect upon his or her role in society, and also about the responsibilities one has, and the limited impact one can have as an individual is something that is ultimately decisive, particularly when you join forces with others, you coordinate a little bit. And I think it's very important to uphold that spirit of responsibility and the awareness for the impact of individual actions. So what you say, also in a private setting, what you say to one person can make a very big difference. And this is something, what I consider to be one of the core messages of the book, and this is a message everybody should hear.
One thing that I learned, which was fascinating, it exercised my brain a lot because it exposed me to different ways of thinking about the migration from a psychological perspective, from a philosophical, and from a legal perspective. And as a historian, I thought it was really refreshing to read and to learn about how others thought about this topic, and it's definitely changed me and my approach to it. So I'm really grateful for the project, and more curious, I think. And I think maybe linking with something that you said, it taught me to listen more and to sort of stop and reflect on my own privilege and just listen to others. That makes a better researcher, I think, too.